You could be the best looking human being on the planet and your partner might still cheat. Context of the pain is so much more important to process the pain than just generalizing the pain. You find yourself repeatedly in communication patterns that hurt than help. When you actually sit down and you start talking to each other and you end up coming out of that conversation feeling more hurt than healed, feeling more invalidated than heard.
Correct.
Feeling more vulnerable than you went in feeling. But you don't feel that you are able to support each other. So this is the time when, this is a very clear idea that, listen, we need intervention. We are ready to get help in every other area of our life. Every other. But when it comes to mental health, we have this, I don't want anyone getting into my head. No one gets into your head, of course, but this idea of losing sovereignty, of losing control of yourself is very frightening. That's why very few people would want to come to therapy at all. Again, contextualize the problem. What is he losing interest in? What is she losing interest in? Is she losing interest in talking to you or having sex with you? Is she losing interest in who you are as an individual or just the act of sex? But still is very cuddly and, touches me and talks to me about my, hopes, dreams and desires. Contextualize. Break the problem into smaller parts so you don't generalize the problem. If your partner is not, he used to compliment me a lot, but now he doesn't compliment me. Oh, my world is falling apart. Seriously. I understand it's very, very difficult to not feel desired and wanted by your partner. Communicate that to them without blaming, without using, you don't compliment me anymore, to saying, using the grammar of I don't feel appreciated these days.
Correct.
I do not. I. एक को निभाना पड़ता है, दूसरे को निभाने की जरूरत नहीं होती. So this idea of love and infatuation, both are joy related, both are giving you joy, both are asking you to act. Love, on the other hand, is asking you for far more commitment than infatuation does. And infatuation in and of itself is not bad. We live in this culture where if everything doesn't last from cradle to grave, it's not good enough. अगर ये लंबे समय तक नहीं चला तो ये शादी कैसे? अगर कुछ लंबा नहीं चलता है तो वो फेलियर है. अरे उस रिलेशनशिप में आपने कितना सीखा? How much did you learn? How much did you grow? That is the success of a relationship. You can be with someone for 30 years and be bored to death and not learn anything about yourself.
Correct.
Right? We consider that relationship to be the successful one, जिनमें हम साथ में मर जाते हैं. अरे साथ में बढ़ते हैं, वो भी तो success हो सकती है ना? So sometimes a one-night stand could teach you a lot more than, being with a partner who is not at all sexually compatible with you. So love has more capacity to commit than infatuation does. Infatuation is more about how I feel. Love is about how both of us feel.
Correct. So I will take one question which had come some time back, while we were discussing about the counseling. So if the other partner is not ready to go, and meet a counseling therapist, then what can be done? I think she was probably talking about her experience. So,
you can't force someone to meet them. You could share articles with them as to how important this is. You could share some benefits of it. You could ask them, hey, why don't just take 3 sessions and figure it out if it's any help? Because a lot of the times, not finding a good therapist is also a problem. There's a question that says, I'm a teacher, I face breakup issues among the young ones. I've seen 4th standard students slitting his or her hands. I feel helpless and I'm dumbfounded as to how to explain it to them. You know what? You're not the school counselor. And if it is actually coming to that point where you are seeing self-harm being done, you have to involve parents, you have to involve the authorities. It is now a safety issue first, and then a counseling issue later. So do not try to just solve a physically dangerous situation by counseling. Involve that, and then yes, but counseling cannot be ignored. Counseling is an absolutely amazing, the important part of this process, but not the first thing. The next question is it normal that the husband forces to have sex without your approval? It is normal, it should not be. And I know in India marital rapes are not considered rapes, but you can file charges against domestic violence abuse, and you could use sexual abuse as domestic violence. It does not mean that it's a myth that in India, if you're raped by your husband, you have no recourse. You have recourse under domestic violence abuse acts. You can reach out to the police, you can reach out to anyone, and it is not right. It's absolutely not right to violate your boundaries. Yes, your partner wants to have sex, but his desire to have sex is not above the sovereignty of your own body. Life has more options than your imagination can entertain. Let's just say that.
Right.
And abandon this idea of a soulmate. Adopt the idea of good enough. This idea that I have a soulmate and he'll come on a horse and he'll be Prince Charming and all of that. I'm so sorry. You've been sold a lie. If you're compatible with someone over 60 to 70% and you want to be with that person, invest your energies there. Because we keep thinking what I have is not good enough, so I keep looking. Right? You will keep looking even if you had Mr. Prince Charming. Because we're human beings, not because we're evil. Because that's who we are.